Alright, how's it going today? Alright, we're going to go over this real quick. This is it's a Strat the guy bought. It was pre-relic. Actually, got a really good deal. And the neck was made by, over in New Jersey at, I forget the name of the place. Jim Jameson's the guy's name. Alright, the guy, it was set up before, but all of a sudden, he's got fret buzz up here. So, if you know, I think it's okay up here, so. So it's annoying them. And then you're okay, but up here's no problem. And normally I would check the truss rod first. Well, I'm going to check the truss rod, obviously, but I think one problem is, obviously it's not the truss rod because it's concentrated in an area. So I think it's caused by a high fret. I'm going to address the frets, but just to show you, this is, we use a thing called like a fret rocker. And what we do with that is we lay it on here and then we just, it's hard to see, but I'm going to try to get it in the picture. You put it on top of the frets and you go over one fret at a time and you tap on it. And you hear that noise? That clicking noise? No, less clicking noise. No clicking noise at all. A little bit of clicking noise. A lot of clicking noise. Hear that noise? Clicking noise. No, a little bit. Then we get back down to here. There's no clicking noise at all. Hear that? It's rocking. That means either one fret's high or one fret's low. In this case, one fret's really high. It's causing all my grief. I get to here, it's perfectly fine. Okay? You get that rocking? When I worked for Ibanez, the Japanese guys in the shop, they used this. They didn't even check this. They didn't even check it with, like we would just play all the frets, and then you find out where the problem is. But they would just check it with this. They would run up the neck and they would adjust it as necessary. And what they would do was we had a tool. They would hammer frets and then we had a fret raising tool, which I made. I don't use it. It's very, very rarely when I use this. But sometimes you got a fret that's really low. It was hammered in too hard. And then we'll use this is a, let me see if I'm in there. This is a hacksaw blade. It's ground down. It's got really, really fine tip on there. And you can actually, if you wanted to, you could actually go in and go under the fret. And then this will actually raise it up a little bit. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to level these frets. But that's like a real, that's what they used to do. And they put a drop of glue under there and wipe it off. In this case, I'm going to use the fret rocker right now. And I can see, I already know which fret's bad. So I'm going to do a fret dress on this when I come back. I'll tell you one other thing, which I'm not going to do right this moment because my amp's over there. But before you take the guitar apart, plug it in, make sure it works, because you get it all done, and then you wind up. I happened to me the other day. I did this dumbest thing. I set up the guitar for the guy, and I plugged it in, and it had a bad pot. It was noisy. He didn't tell me it was noisy, but it was noisy, and I had to replace it. Then I had to break the whole thing down again. So what we'll do is, before we know what you're in for before you get started. So, check your tuners, make sure they're tight. Check your frets, play the whole neck, check the truss rod. We showed you that before. Make sure it's straight. Use a straight edge on there. So you know what you're up against before you take it apart. Otherwise, you're going to have to take it apart 3 times. And we don't want to do that. So we're going to take it apart. Next video, I'm going to tape off the fingerboard because it's a maple fingerboard. This is roasted maple. So I'm going to tape this off. If it was rosewood, I wouldn't care about it. Ebony, I wouldn't care about it. But maple, you don't want to. Well, I'm going to buff the frets in the end because I like them nice and shiny. So, and I don't want to do any damage to this because it's basically it's an oil finish on here. It's not like a regular finish. Regular high gloss maple necks, I tape them off, but when I'm done, I buff the whole board. And that's part 1, and I will be back for part 2 in like a couple seconds after I break it down. And then we'll be right back. Okay?